Hi, everybody. I'm Sally Knob, and this person with me today, keeper of all things, is here to give you her testimonial on what it was like to go through multidimensional healing. And so I want to thank Keeper of all things for coming in and letting us know what it was like to go through the experience with me with multidimensional healing. So go ahead and take it away, Miss Keeper.
All right. So, would you like to know why, first of all, how I found you?
Right.
Yeah. So I had gotten into, I had read several of Dolores Cannon's books and was very interested in the QHHT sessions because I thought that maybe I would like to learn how to do it, but I was also very much interested in finding out what had I lived out my karmic um have I done what I was supposed to do while I was here, or am I still doing it? Am I on the right track, and so I had your number for about a year and still felt like I needed to learn some more before I actually went through with it. And then I finally reached out, and that's when I found out you did the energy healing, the and that you had a friend that did the QHHT. And so we started working on the energy. And at first, I didn't really understand what it was. It took me, you had directed me to some books that I read. So that really filled me in. And then I became even more interested in, learning about it. But meanwhile, you were moving energy in me. And the way it felt when you would do those things, when you would get off of the phone, it wasn't like, all of a sudden you feel like a blast of energy, or, it's not like a physical thing per se. It wasn't for me. I did have like moments where, I might have felt tired or emotional, but, that could have just been nice stuff too at that time. Um, but I just started noticing that my way of thinking was changing. My reactions to things, the people around me were changing. There was a lot more synchronicities in my life, and it just felt like something was shifting. And I still didn't really have a total grasp on it at that time, like the first session or two, maybe. And but then as we got more and more into it, by the third and fourth session, definitely by the fourth session, I was feeling like I was more able to recognize the shifts. Where, like I said, it was just like the people around me, the things that were coming to me, um, were just more in alignment with the way that I wanted to live, the person that I knew myself to be. But because of life circumstances, I had like gone down a different road and felt like I wasn't myself or where I was supposed to be. And and everything just kind of, I felt like there was just these, like I said, synchronicities and things being put in front of me and me being led to certain situations. And it's like I could tell when it felt right. And I started to notice when things were not right, they felt wrong, or this wasn't something I wanted. Um, Whereas I started feeling more alive, more myself. As before, I think I'd just been disassociating for a long time. And I'd started becoming more a part of like the world, the universe. Like I just felt like I was where I was supposed to be. And that ultimately led to me making some pretty big life choices. But what's crazy about that is that by the time I had to make that choice, I was already set up. My life had already set itself up for me to be in that situation. So that when I made the choice, the transition was very smooth and easy.
Wow. So how do you feel now
Um,
compared, if you compare how you felt before we got started and to where you are today? Is there a subtle difference, a big difference? How did it affect you overall from where you were to where you are?
I honestly, we talk, or, you hear people talking about like we're shifting into a new dimension, we're shifting into a new earth, a new reality, whatever it is. I feel like I'm in a new reality. I feel like my eyes are open and I am more appreciative of everything around me. And I'm more, apt to verbally out loud, like, thank God, and um, just be more calm about things that are happening because I know that the universe is going to take care of me and God's going to take care of me and everything's going to happen as it should be if I just relax and, hope for the best and and instead of fervently trying to manifest something, just roll with it. And um, I just I feel like it's crazy. I feel like a completely different person than who I was, a few months ago. But I feel like the same person that I was when I was in the body of the person, or I was in my body before all the bad stuff started happening in my life. So
You got you back improved, is what you're trying to say. I got my old
yeah,
self
like,
back, but improved.
yeah, like it's like I've been able to connect the two people again, or the same person again. I've been able to connect where I think I've just been disassociated for so long that like I forgot who she was. And I am I am happier than I have ever been.
So was it worth it?
So I would do it a million times. Yes. It was
Awesome.
so worth it. Yes,
Good deal. Good deal.
absolutely.
And hopefully you'll get out there and try to do this work too with your friends and family and go out there and make a difference
Absolutely.
and help people. That's what I love
I
about this is because people can get so transformed by the process. And so many times they ask me, teach me how to do it. And that's what I love about that. So it's to get people out
yeah,
there, learn it
and
and
what's
take what I've
amazing,
learned and go beyond what I've done.
absolutely. And what's so amazing is that I mean, there's a lot to learn as far as like you really need to be in a good place. So, you should go through this before you try to do it for someone else. But ultimately, it's so easy. It's so easy. And it's like I have friends that are like, I want to go do ayahuasca. And I was like, no, no. I was like, I mean, I get what you're wanting the outcome to be, but like you don't have to go through all that.
No, you
Like,
don't. You don't need
I
all
mean,
that.
if that's your thing, okay.
Yeah. But
You
you
don't
don't
need
need
a
it.
near death experience. You don't need, like this is something, this works. And, you know, you don't have to do shadow work. You don't have to, I have past, from childhood, um, things that have just always been coming up, coming up, coming up since I was little. And um, I used to always think, oh, I need to deal with that before I can deal with this or that, and no, you don't. Like, I don't even think about those things anymore. Like, it's just dealt with. And it's accepted, it's forgiven, it's all those things. It's
But
not
isn't
something
it
I
nice
worry
to
about.
get all that trapped emotional energy out that you don't really know what to do with? And then it
Yeah,
sort of kind of rebalances and recenters you. And then you're like, well, wait a minute, why not forgive? All I got is
yeah,
now and moving forward, right? So why not feel
yeah,
amazing through that process? Yeah.
yeah. Because you're not only, we're not only moving energy, but if you also read the books and and listen to you because we talk, you know, during this process, and when you take your advice and use it in everyday life, that is also what changes
It's about
yourself.
understanding how to properly manifest because I think a lot of us do it wrong. So there's one thing to get your energy cleared, cleansed, and balanced, getting the
Mm-hmm.
ancestral noise out of the way that gets transferred down through the DNA. And then activating the DNA, which is always kind of
Yeah.
cool because you get this extra clarity and extra psychic abilities that you never knew that you had, but you always had. And you're like, whoa, where did that come from? And you have this knowing where you just either it was just so suppressed due to your own emotional baggage, but whatnot. But everything gets turned on and everything is magnified. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and through that process, you then begin to understand you've got to be really careful about how you think because first comes the
Yes.
thought. And we talked about that. If you really want true transformation, it's almost like Sally's like the bariatric surgeon, I don't have any other analogy, that we can go ahead and do the bariatric surgery. But if you don't change how you move through life experience, if you don't
Mm-hmm.
change the rewiring of the brain, then you're going to be right back eventually to where you were. And what I try to bring to the table when I work with you and clients is let's clean up the energy, get rid of the heart wall and any other barriers that are going on, remove those trapped emotional energies. If there's toxins and all of that, your body will purge. I'm glad that didn't happen to you, but you're still really young.
Yeah.
So, but it can happen.
I know this last one I kind of did, but yeah.
No. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, as that rebalancing goes forward, you do get more in tune to the here and the now, and then you begin to realize, wow, my thoughts actually do impact my reality. So,
Mm-hmm.
can you tell me a little bit about when I said you need to get out there and start dissolving clouds? Did you think I lost my mind when I said that to you?
Yeah, I had no confidence in myself at first. Like, that seems like a very like advanced thing to do. And it's no joke. It's no joke. And I mean, you can do it if you put your intention into it and you focus. I mean, yeah, you could do it. And I mean, I would do it. I did it in front of my mom, and I was like, she's like, well, and I'm like, okay, which pick one. I mean, you really can do it, and it's crazy to think about the possibilities with that, of other things that you would be able to do with that.
Yeah, and when you get that grasp, that understanding of dissolving clouds, then it shifts how you perceive to move through life. You're thinking, oh my goodness, if I'm not careful with my thoughts, I could end up in a train wreck, and you can. And
Mm-hmm.
so, but at least you don't have what I call concrete boots that are tied to your feet, and you're trying to walk up this muddy hill because we've cleansed and balanced the energies within your mind, your
Mm-hmm.
body, and your spirit. And then we worked on how to move forward, how to direct your thoughts, and how you are responsible for your reality. However, you want that reality to lay out, ultimately it begins with your thought. And I feel like working with you, you took it on so beautifully. It's almost like when I first started working with you, it's like, I don't know if I can do that." And I'm like, "Oh, you have to do this
Mhm.
because if you don't do this part, then you're not going to believe anything of what you can
Yeah,
do, right?" So you have
it
to
is
kind of
true.
root
Yeah.
into that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
that is true because it does, you do realize unknowingly, because I guess I didn't really think, but when you realize that you can do that with your thoughts and your intentions, you realize how your thoughts and intentions are affecting everyone around you. And it honestly wasn't even a conscious thought. I think it was just a realization, and I started becoming much more aware. Like even now, if like, negative thoughts pop up, but I'm like, I reject that, I reject that, I reject that. That is not mine. And remind myself who I am, and because that is not where I want my energy to go.
And don't you find manifesting much easier now I mean, manifesting in a positive way? We all manifest, but do
Yeah,
we manifest negatively or positively? I guess.
yeah.
Find
I've
that
really
coming
changed
easier.
that. Yeah, I've really changed that as far as like I don't even consider it manifesting in a sense after reading the remind me of the name of the book about
Hacking
manifesting.
the law of attraction?
Yes, yes. And after reading that, I've more or less just in my thoughts, I'm more like, man, it'd be nice if, or, I'd really like it if, just, I don't necessarily say this is the way it's going to be. And, you know, just like, it'd be nice if this happened, you know,
Yeah.
and, and if, that doesn't mean that your day is going to be perfect if you are like, hoping for every single little thing to happen that day, but good things are, it works. I'm telling you, it works. Good things, I mean, just little things. Like I mean, people definitely use this experience as an example, but like getting a parking spot, you know, but it's just it could be anything.
Yeah. Green lights, traveling, when you
Yeah.
need green lights.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
it
It
does
could
work if you
be
think
anything.
about it. When people like, "Oh, I'm going to get all red lights," and guess what? They get all red lights.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
think about,
Because you
bring
can also
about.
manifest bad things. Yep.
Yeah.
You can.
Where your
And
thoughts and emotion, so goes your manifestations.
mhm.
So,
Yep.
well,
Absolutely.
I am so grateful that you're willing to share your story with others because hopefully it'll inspire more people to reach out and learn what we're doing here so they can get out and do the same thing and help more people. I mean, that would be a beautiful thing in my
I
opinion.
mean,
So,
I wish everyone was open to doing this. It's like this is like going to the chiropractor. Like I mean, or like this is a self care thing that everybody needs, whether you realize it or not, because um, it makes such a huge change in your decision making. And I see so many people that are stuck that I want to reach out to and help or
and
lead
you,
to
and you
you or to
will.
someone like you.
Yeah, you definitely will. You'll definitely be able to do that. So, yeah, so even keeper of all things wants to learn more about what we're doing. So that's really cool. So, well, anyway, thank you very much. And I was going to say something else, but we'll just go ahead and leave it there because we're not actually doing any other type of video, but just getting the testimonial. So, anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Hold on.